Just moving down the table, these are little contact mics, so designed to either look through walls or doors or ceilings. So if you were going to plant an audio device inside of a wall, you would use something like this to make sure there's nobody on the other side while you're doing that planting. These right here are little GPS trackers designed for slap and go applications. They're entirely self-contained, including the battery, the SIM card. We also have one that's got a built-in magnet in it that's designed to be slapped onto a bumper or something like that. Uses this little charging pad, inductive charging, so you just place the unit right on top, charges it up. Basically, there's a website or a server attached to this, and that's where you go on, you view where the tracker's been. You can adjust the settings for how often it's sending tracks. You can set up geofences, things like that. These little guys with the charging pad, they're like $500 or so. This right here is an interview management system. Two versions. One is a fixed version, and then this right here is the portable version. In either case, portable or fixed, you would have at least one, if not two cameras tied into this system. It's basically going to allow you to come on here and provides a central storage location for all of your interviews, and then B, a collaboration tool. So multiple officers could log into this, view that recording, then they can go in there and create notes and annotations. And then you can go back and search across all the interviews for those notes or annotations. So for example, if you're doing a case and everybody keeps talking about this red truck they see, if you flag that term red truck in all the interviews, you can go back, search for that term red truck. It'll automatically give you the results, pull up all the interviews that that term is flagged and mentioned in, pinpoints the location in those interviews, and allows you to easily go back and re-watch those interviews for that term. You could also do it for an individual, you could do it for an officer, or a location, things like that. This right here is a fully functioning computer. This will run a full Windows 7, Windows 8, or Linux operating system. It's got up to 128 gig solid state drive and up to 8 gig of RAM. It's designed either as a desktop replacement, where you would use something like this. This is basically, it's got your outputs to your peripherals, your monitor, keyboard, mouse. It's not built into this one, but it also can have an input for an RJ45 network. Up here is a CAT card reader, so if you needed to authenticate the users of the device, you could do so. So again, designed as a desktop replacement, or you could integrate this into another system. So for example, a UAV or a robot, this could be running basically the operating system and the control of that extra unit. The other thing they have for this is a portable data center. It's designed for either a remote situation, a disaster recovery effort, or even a war zone application. It's basically a large Pelican case, houses up to 22 of these cards, runs off of mil-spec 4590 batteries, will allow for the users in the vicinity to all connect to each other running this as a server, and then B, you could also transmit all that data back via like a SATCOM. Unfortunately, I don't have that device here with me, but this is a through-wall radar device. Right here, it's a handheld unit. It uses a technology similar to Doppler radar to detect motion, and it's actually sensitive enough to detect respiratory motion. So if the guy's sleeping on the couch, or if he knows you're coming and he's hiding from you, or if he's maybe standing behind the door with a gun, you'll be able to pick him up with this. It works up to 50 feet through any non-metallic building material, so concrete, brick, wood, drywall, get through all that, just won't get through metal. So you really couldn't use this in like a trailer park, but just about any other application would work fine. It's going to give you an output based on distance, so it's going to indicate how far that target is from the unit. If there are multiple targets, it would display the first target for approximately 2 seconds, then it would display the next target for approximately 2 seconds, and then the next target for approximately 2 seconds. So if you were looking into a room with, say, 8 people, you might not know there are exactly 8 people in that room, but you would get multiple pings, let's say at 5 or 6 different distances, so you would know, okay, I've got at least 5 or 6 people in that room. It'll also indicate MOV for moving or BR for breathing to let you know if the target's walking around or if he's standing still. If you're running the scan long enough and the target is moving around, that number will increase or decrease based on the distance that the target is from the device. This right here is a Wi-Fi link for the device, so they've got it propped up against the wall right here on, it's basically a tripod-like device. And then the officer is standing behind the vehicle and he's viewing the data on his smartphone or a tablet. And the idea is you get the officer some safety distance from the target. Let's see here. This right here is a gunshot detection system. It's designed either for schools or for a high-profile building. Basically, this has got 2 separate devices on here. One is an acoustic detector, so it detects the sound of the gunshot going off. And the second is a muzzle detector, so it'll actually verify that it was a gunshot going off rather than, let's say, a locker slamming shut or a door slamming closed, something like that. This is just a prototype. It's not actually a functioning unit, but you would hook this up to your network via RJ45 cables, and then you would have one of these every, say, 150, 200 yards down the corridors or in the building, so that A, you'd be able to hear that gunshot, and B, you'd be able to detect the muzzle. Then you link that back to your security system, basically, and an alarm would go off, and then you could even have the camera set up to swing around and view this device or where the alarm would actually trip. This right here is a little handheld thermal device. It's basically designed for viewing targets at night, whether you may be chasing some guy through the woods or if you're looking at an area of interest, trying to see if there's anybody hanging out there. Welcome to take a look at this if anybody would like. It's got built-in 4x zoom, color palletization. It's a 640 by 480 resolution. It's also got USB outputs if you want to tie it into a recording device or a transmitting device or a monitor, you can do so. This right here is a solar-powered camera. It's got a 5 megapixel camera in there, and it operates on both the cellular and the Wi-Fi networks. It's designed to stream that data straight to the cloud, and then you can log onto the cloud and view that data in real time. It's also got a straight USB output, so if you want to go to a recording device or a local monitor, you can do so as well.
Talk about what their capabilities are and how they can work.
That's pretty much everything we brought today. Again, we do a lot more than just what's on the table here. We do a lot with CCTV equipment, audio, video recording devices, port protection gear, night vision stuff, perimeter security. We're actually just based across the river down in Alexandria. Yeah, so not too far as long as traffic's cooperating. We don't manufacture anything ourselves. We represent about 40 or 50 different manufacturers. Again, all different lines of security and surveillance equipment. Some of them are domestic, others are international.